What are your overall team goals this season?
Team goals. I am focusing on the athletes and what they want. So it's important for the athletes to have goals themselves. So before practice last week, I asked each of them what some long-term and some short-term goals are. By the end of September, what do they want to have accomplished? How do we measure that? And how do we analyze it? So by the end of September, after we finish one of our competitions, say, okay, let's review our goals. How far did we get in getting to that goal? What do we need to do better from here on out? Then I also asked, by the end of our season, next spring, after nationals, what do you want to have accomplished by then as well? So a long-term goal for the season. So focusing on what they want to get out of this team is a goal that I have set for myself, as well as being able to be the best coach possible. So they're looking for a leader for a team to take them to all of these competitions and a national championship without any bumps in the road. Obviously there's going to be bumps in the road, but I'm going to put that on myself to take care of those issues. Things with purchasing ammunition, making sure that we have targets for the practice and the competitions go smoothly. That's going to be something that I will take so they can focus on practicing and competing to the best of their abilities.
How have you gotten to know your team in your short time so far?
In the short time so far, we've had a couple of team meetings, so worked on some informal stuff, some formal stuff, going over what our season's going to be looking like, going through the team handbook, going over the expectations that I have for them and some stuff that they have for me, answering any questions that come about. We've had a couple days of practice, so working at practice, going, okay, what are you working on today at practice? Understanding how they're trying to better themselves each time helps me understand them better. Then we've also had informal meetings where we just sit and have conversation, where we reserved a classroom and just sat and talked. Questions that came up, some other stuff come in competition, so some people have to work per usual, so not everyone was able to be there, so it wasn't mandatory, which is just fine. But we just had conversation. Okay, well, what about this rule? What about that rule? How do we take care of this situation? So working on connecting with them, sharing the knowledge that I have, getting into them without doing it in a necessarily formal way. Done some team activities, so we went and played sand volleyball in the afternoon one day, had a spike ball set up out there as well, so had some fun doing that.
Kind of along those lines, it sounds like you're kind of talking about team culture, but how have you seen either maybe people take the next step in their leadership skills or abilities?
Yeah, you can definitely tell the seniors are more comfortable on the team, the seniors and juniors. I think that they have taken in the couple of freshmen that we have pretty well, as well as the one transfer. So being able to answer any questions that come about, I mean, some have more knowledge than others, so sharing that knowledge that they have in their leadership role. So when we're at practice and people have questions, if I'm not able to be right there at every single moment for everyone, then others are taking on the leadership role of trying to answer questions and help out as much as they can.
What are some competitions on the schedule that you're excited for?
So we are going to be doing the Iowa State four-year college championship this year. That'll be November 4th and 5th. That'll be an end of our fall season competition. So everything's going to be leading up to that. I think that's going to be an exciting competition to see how not only us but other schools in Iowa are comparing to each other. So we're going to Nebraska for one competition, going around Iowa, and being able to compete at those and then be like, okay, this is our state competition. Let's put it to the test here. And that kind of leads us to, okay, this is it. The next season, when we're getting ready for nationals, we'll have one competition, and then we'll go into nationals. It'll be a similar thing. Okay, we've done our warm-up round, our warm-up competition. Now we're going to nationals. Now we're going to put it all on the line.
Along your schedule lines, kind of as a coach, as you progress through your schedule, do you have different kind of measuring blocks, or what do you look for as your schedule progresses?
As we get through it, just looking, I don't like to necessarily look at scores. I like to understand the performance. So when I ask an athlete, how'd the round go, I don't want to hear, well, I ran a 25. Well, you can do that on days where you may not be feeling good. You can do that on days where you're feeling your best. The score doesn't reflect everything. It's more so, how did you feel? Was your head there? Like, were you mentally there? Did you try your hardest to get the score that you ended up with? It may have been a really good score. It may have been a not so great score. Some things you can't control. So understanding that you did your best and put everything you had towards it, I consider that a win right there. Those are some of the blocks that we're looking for, some of the ways that we can measure the athlete's performance.
And then I guess kind of just you in general. Why were you interested in this position, or what have been kind of your first, couple weeks here been like?
Yeah, so this position was opened up at a good time. I'd competed for 5 years with Concordia University in Nebraska, and with this job opening up, it was a way to be able to continue with a career in shooting sports. Outside of a coaching position, there's competing and practicing and being on a pro staff or working for a company in a shooting sports related business. Something that a lot of people don't see is how coaches are affected by the shooting sports industry. So we pay attention to the rules of the national governing bodies. We pay attention to what's going on in the industry. So being in this position can help me through my career of still being in shooting sports, something that I love. I've done for the past 9 years total, and being able to pass my knowledge on to other individuals.
Good luck this season.
Thank you.